Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about engineering managers. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hi Frederick, would you say that you aren't fit to be a software engineering manager? If you are, aren't you fit to be a software engineering manager if you are able to find areas of improvement for some good engineers in your team? Nope. I mean, you can find areas of improvement for anybody if you pick arbitrary things. But I want to say that you're not fit, that this doesn't like sort of give you like, hey, here's a pass on being an engineering manager because you're able to find areas of improvements. But I mean, the stakes, like the bar for being an engineering manager is like pathetically low in IT. Like, it's hilarious. It's like 99% what have you done in a previous job and 1% technical knowledge. That's really what I swear that is what it comes down to. I've interviewed many engineering managers. I've worked with many of them, and the average is, as I said, the role is really just manager, and manager is in many cases based solely on prior experience, almost always. And if it's not based on that, it's down to social skills, etc., etc., communication, mindset, so forth and so forth. I've met people who are born managers. Like, they have all these social skills from the get-go. Like, it's really like they were, because the job does not, you can take an education in being a manager, but you could also start today and do the job just as well as someone who's been educated. I swear that you can, because the job itself is actually not that complicated when you get down to it. It's not an easy job, but it does not require specialist knowledge. So being able to spot improvements in good engineers is, as I said, it's sort of like you can do this in the way that the average manager does this, which is, I think, hilarious, because this is sort of the thing I'm talking about. Why I would argue that anybody with basic social skills will be able to do this job at the basic level, and that is to in essence go and ask, how do we help you improve? How would you learn how to grow? You basically ask the person, what should we do? This is how I deal with most managers, my friends, and most product owners. They have no idea how to do anything. So what do? If you don't know, you ask. And that's the entire job. You ask people who know what to do, and then, because you don't know any better, you don't even have a way to inform yourself if this is a good idea or bad idea. It's basic leadership 101. It's like what a politician will have to do. You go and offload your decision or the gathering of data to people who know stuff that you have no idea, and then they have to make a PowerPoint presentation and ask you, here are the 3 options, A, B, and C. Which one do you want? A means this, B means that, C means that. And if you're a good leader, you actually know whether or not this seems reasonable or not. If you're a bad one, you're going to pick one of them, based completely on ignorance and your position and how charismatic the presenters are with like presenting the information to you. And that works, unless you haven't noticed how most of like high-end management works these days. You think that your, I don't know, CEO, if you work for a big corporation, has any idea of what you do and how that fits in to anything within the company. You can't ask them a single thing about what you are doing, because the decisions that they are making is at a level so high that it's practically impossible for them to do anything but ask people to help them gather the necessary information and data to make a decision. And for a software engineering manager, that is exactly how they approach it. Literally everyone. It really is that simple. I can go into and we can have a little one-on-one, you and me, right now, where we talk about your personal development, and I can say, hey Fubar, I've seen you've been doing really great, and I would love to hear your thoughts on how we can help you develop even further. And then we have a conversation, and then you tell me if you have any ideas of how we could develop your further. And then if you have suggestions, congratulations, I've just found areas of improvement for you. If you don't have any suggestions, then I will look at your role within the company, which is, let's say that you're a software developer. Well, maybe it's time for you to start taking on more responsibility. No shit. That's not something, a average human being would figure out, because that seems weird, right? You've been working as a software developer for X amount of time. Maybe it's time for you to take on a bigger role. What does that mean? Well, it can mean anything from that you, I don't know, lead the morning meeting all the way up to that we're going to try to groom you to take more responsibility in the product development, or etc. etc. I start a conversation with you about that, and now we're developing your social skills. Congratulations. Or if I'm a really interesting manager, I might go and say that I actually know some stuff, and I might know some basics about, we really work a lot with Docker. Do you know about Docker? Maybe we should teach you something about Docker. Or maybe I've read one article on machine learning, and I'll come and I suggest that maybe that would be interesting. And I start dropping terms until I say something that resonates with you. A little bit like a psychic who's trying to say random or like catch phrases here and there to see if somebody responds in the audience, and then I can find a hook, and then I can bullshit my way to the rest so that you believe that I talk to the dead. Same thing can be applied to an engineering manager. The really good ones, the best, these are the engineering managers who can identify the individual and truly tailor a growth plan for them. And I've only ever met 2 people, exactly 2 people, that had that capacity. The rest of them are, as I said, they are as replaceable as a decently intelligent and emotionally capable, emotional intelligence and just tech skills software developer. Every single one of them. So what I want you to take away from this is that no, just because you can figure out a way to help someone improve doesn't make you an engineering manager. It's a more complicated job than that. It is actually a job where if you're going to do it well, it requires skills that are beyond the average person, I would say, and that's why everybody more or less sucks at it, and that's why the requirements on the job, in terms of like how you actually produce things, has much more to do with how many headcount can you get. Can you hire people? Can you make yourself understood and like be communicative and have endless meetings, etc. etc. It is a skill set that any person can master within a fairly short amount of time, I would say, after you learn how to speak the lingo and learn how to move. As I said, it's a experience-based role almost all the time, because it's the only thing you have to convince the companies about is that you understand how to work in a professional environment, how to hire people and like manage and having a conversation with technical people and so forth and so forth. And the really good IT companies, they usually have some type of technical requirements on their engineering managers. Do you know how fast they let go of the level of skill they require from their software engineering managers when they realize that 99% of them know so little about programming that the best you can do is get some term dropping from them? Unless you haven't noticed that, that's what some of the quote-unquote best recruiters do as well. They term drop. I was very surprised at how many times I get to talk to a recruiter who starts term dropping technologies. They don't really know what these things are, and I can't ask them a single question about anything. They just use the terms. And a lot of the engineering managers that I've talked to do exactly the same thing. At the end of the day, they don't have anything apart from a nice smile, social graces, some basic experience with talking to human beings. That's it. That's all they have. And then they used to have a consultancy gig 100 years ago where they did a basic application in PHP. Have a great day.